Okay, I got my meeting. I have my meeting.
Hi, Mark. If
I'm
you
not
can
muted,
mute
sorry.
mute yourself until later. Thanks. We'll get started in just a couple more minutes. Checking out which commissioners we have on. I'll text Commissioner Bond. Oh, he's just getting let in right now. All right, we're good. You guys hear me? I'm just checking my audio. Thank you. All right, we will go ahead and get started. The Monday, February 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Marquette City Commission is now called to order at 6 p.m. Just a note that after the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like to ask the Commission to join me for a moment of silence for those who have died due to COVID-19 in the United States. The number has now reached 500,000. This idea was brought to me by Commissioner Davis, so thank you, Commissioner Davis. And immediately after the pledge, we will have 1 moment of silence, which is 1 minute long. All right, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I just wanted to, memorialize this moment. The United States has lost 500,000 folks to COVID-19 thus far. Worldwide, it sits at about 2.47 million deaths due to COVID-19. And here in Marquette County, it's over 50 that we've lost. So we will have 1 moment of silence thinking of those who are no longer with us and their families. Thank you, Commissioners, for joining me for that moment of silence. I know we all have heavy hearts thinking about those who've been affected, and we're doing what we can to prevent the spread of the virus here in Marquette, and we'll continue doing so. All right, City Clerk, could you please conduct our roll call? And Commissioners, reminder, please to state your physical city and county location if you're able to do so.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner Bonsall,
Here in the city of Marquette, county of Marquette.
Commissioner Davis,
Present, City of Marquette, County of Marquette.
Commissioner Hanley,
Present, City of Marquette, County of Marquette.
Commissioner Mayer,
Present, unable to provide location due to military orders.
Commissioner Stonehouse,
City and County of Marquette, present.
Mayor Pro Tem Hill,
I'm here, City of Marquette, County of Marquette.
and Mayor Smith.
Here, City of Marquette, County of Marquette. Thank you, City Clerk. Commissioners, we have an agenda in front of us. Do I have this in the right order? No, I need announcements first. Sorry about that. So announcements. I have one announcement, reminder for our folks. Next week is glass recycling. So this has been very difficult, and I understand because I've forgotten it myself, but I'm trying to be part of the solution here. Our community wants glass recycling, but for this to continue to happen, we've really got to work to get this right. The first full week of the month is for glass recycling only. That means just put out your bin of wine bottles and salsa jars and anything glass. No plastic, no paper, just the glass for the first full week of the month. So next week is March 1st through 5th. That whole week, put out your glass, no, nothing else. And then after that, every other week of the month, you can combine your paper, your plastics, everything together. So if you have questions about that, you can go to our website at marquettemi.gov, and we've got some handy reminders on there. We also will have some helpful flyers going out with the utility billing to help kind of remind and educate folks moving forward, but that's a good reminder there. Now we have boards and committees. Item number 1, we have one appointment for consideration this evening. And Commissioners, do we have a motion on this appointment? Commissioner Davis?
Your Honor, I think you still need to do the approval of the agenda.
Gosh, I got all mixed up. I'm sorry, guys.
I can
Approval
do
of the
that.
agenda. I think.
I move we
Go
approve
ahead.
the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis, for saving me there. Commissioner Mayer?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Any comment, discussion? All in favor, please say yes.
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 Yes. All opposed, please say no. Motion passes 7-0. All right, now we're moving on. We already did announcements. I'm all out of order, but we'll get it from here. Boards and committees, one appointment. We've got Mark Weinrich on the bill here. Anyone would like to make that motion? Commissioner Hanley?
I suggest that we appoint Mark Weinrich to the Downtown Development Authority for an unexpired term ending 01/1/25.
And do we have a second on this motion? Commissioner Davis? I think you're on mute, but I do believe you were trying to second.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanley, any discussion? Commissioner Davis, any discussion? I just want to say thank you to Mark Weinrich for your willingness to step up and serve in this role. I think he'll do a very nice job. Any further discussion from the commission? Looking around. All right. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All opposed, please say no. Motion passes 7-0. Now we're on to public comment. Public comments may not exceed 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and physical address. I know we have one written comment, so City Clerk, if you could please read that, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tonight's written comment comes from Margaret Brum, 404 East Magnetic Street in Marquette, and she writes, what is the city policy /law/rules on people walking on the ice in different locations offshore on Lake Superior?
Thank you, City Clerk. Do we have any additional public comments?
We have one phone number.
We have one phone number that we're going to let in now. And I'll just add that I will comment on that question in my commissioner comments later if you're watching Ms. Brown.
The number is in the meeting now. It's 228-8462.
Yep, we have a phone number here of 228-8462. Would you like any public comment?
Hello.
Hi, would you like to provide any public comment this evening?
Yes, I am.
Okay, if you could mute or turn the volume off on the YouTube that you're watching, we're getting some audio feedback. And then please state your name and physical address, and you'll have 3 minutes for public comment.
Oh, okay, I muted it. Is that better?
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
Go ahead. Name and physical address, please.
Okay, Jerry Nault, 1851 North McClellan Avenue in the city of Marquette. First of all, thank you to the city for having Zoom meetings. I don't have cable, and that allows me to watch the meetings. My comments are on the initial report of the ad hoc city housing issue, and one of their suggestions was to update city ordinances, and I think that defeats the hard work of the boards and committees that constantly work to make the city a desirable place to live. It's those ordinances that make the city what it is, and that's what makes it desirable. I've read through the material on the city website, and some of the comments state living in the Marquette is too expensive and suggest something needs to be done about that cost. It sounds somewhat like entitlement. I believe you can live in Marquette, but if you can't afford it, there are other options available. Just because you want to live in Marquette doesn't mean that you need to live in Marquette. There are other places to live. And the report mentions new developments. With the current cost of building materials, I don't see any builder or owner renovate a building or housing and then rent or sell it at less than the cost to build or maintain the property. Thank you for listening. Those are my comments.
Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it. All right, do we have anyone else for public comment? No additional folks for public comment, so public comment is now closed. Moving on to item number 2, consent agenda. Commissioners, do we have a motion for the consent agenda? Commissioner Bonzo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that we approve the consent agenda as written.
And do we have a second? Mayor Pro Tem Hill?
I move that, I second the motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Okay, any discussion on consent? All in favor, please say yes.
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 All opposed, please say no. Motion passes 7-0. Moving on to new business, we only have one item tonight. This is going to be a quick meeting, I guess. City Clerk, could we please have the background on water use ordinance update?
Thank you, Mayor. The City of Marquette updated the sewer use ordinance in 2020. The current water use ordinance has not been updated in some time and requires a legal and technical review as well. Mr. George Davis from Davis & Davis Law Offices, PLC, is recognized as a leader in this field and provided the review and recommendations for the sewer use ordinance update. Fiscal effect, $12,000 is budgeted in the water fund for this update. Recommendation, approve a professional services agreement with Davis & Davis Law Offices, PLC, for a legal and technical review of the City of Marquette's current water use ordinance in an amount not to exceed $9,000. Alternatives as determined by the Commission.
Thank you, City Clerk. And Commissioners, do we have a motion on this item? Mayor Pro Tem Hill? Oh, you're on mute. If you could start again. Sorry about that.
And I'm trying to find the right, I hit my mouse and I went scrolling on past, here it is. I move that we approve a professional services agreement with Davis & Davis Law Offices, PLC, for a legal and technical review of the City of Marquette's current water use ordinance in an amount not to exceed $9,000.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Do we have a second on this motion? Commissioner Stonehouse?
Yes, Your Honor, I will second the motion as presented.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem, any discussion?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if we could hear a little more about why this was separated from, why the sewer and the water reviews were separated, and what can we expect to have learned once this has been done?
Sure, and I think we've got Mark O'Neill here with our wastewater treatment plant. Mark, if you want to help us out, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, when we updated the sewer use ordinance, we had received a grant. We're getting feedback there. You guys can hear me okay?
I'll mute.
Okay. When we received a grant from the state to take a look at a bunch of components in the, basically our sewer system and our stormwater utility. And one of the components of that was to take a hard look at our sewer use ordinance. So that's why it was done separately. As we did that process, we realized that the water ordinance also needed to be updated. It hadn't been updated in quite some time. So we budgeted the money for it to do it this year, 1 year later.
Thanks, Mark.
Can you brief us on what you might expect to know from this that we didn't know before or know now?
Well, I think it's just taking out some things that are outdated. And as the Department of Public Works and our city engineer, over the years of using this ordinance, they've seen some things they would like to see changed. So they're going to have some changes they're going to want to make. And then having, our consultant on board, he's going to make sure that we have a document that's going to protect the city as best as we can. So that's what we're looking at doing.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Commissioner Mayor, I do see your hand raised, but I just wanted to see if Commissioner Stonehouse, who seconded the motion, has any questions or comments first.
Well, the only comment I would make, Your Honor, is that I think it's critically important that we maintain our both our water and our sewage system at the highest level we can. We know the importance of that, not only for the health of the community, but what's happened down in places like Flint and other areas where they've had significant problems. So when we have an opportunity to bring ourselves up to where we should be and assure ourselves that that's the point we want to be at, I think we have to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stonehouse. Commissioner Mayer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mark, could you maybe elaborate on just what some of the changes would be or what the issues in the current setup is?
Well, as of right now, basically it's the Department of Public Works Water Department along with the Engineering Department. They're the two departments that work within this ordinance the most. We're working on a list through them of what changes they want, but I haven't seen that yet. I expect to see that next week before we have our first meeting with our consultant. But, I don't think it's going to be a drastic change. When we got into the sewer use ordinance, there were so many things that needed to be updated that we just decided to blow the whole thing up. And we went ahead and just created a whole new ordinance. I don't anticipate that's going to happen here. We're expecting if we do have to do that, we're going to go to that $9,000 limit. If we don't have to do that, we're going to end up, he's just going to charge us for time and material. So I think we're going to come in under that. But direct changes, I can tell you just by myself reviewing the ordinance, there's some references to, some certain references to certain projects, special assessments that, aren't even applicable anymore. So those need to be pulled out. But the specifics that Public Works would like to see and our engineer, I can't speak on that at this moment.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Other commissioners, any other discussion? I just had one question for you, Mark. I know that we've addressed this with wastewater or sewer water already. This is the water. Are we going to need to do this for stormwater as well? Is that kind of up and coming, or is that one pretty up to date?
No, that one came along a lot later than the water and sewer. So we're not anticipating to make any significant changes to that anytime soon. That's not to say we might not do some tweaks. Talking to the city engineer, there might be some tweaks in the next year or so, but they'd be minor.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and take a vote, commissioners. All in favor, please say yes.
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 All opposed, please say no. Motion passes 7-0. That brings us to our second public comment session of the evening. Do we have any written or call-ins? We don't have anyone for public comment, so public comment is now closed. Comments from the commission. We'll start things off with Commissioner Mayer.
Well, Your Honor, I do not really have anything at this time for commissioner comments. Been pretty busy down here other than that, but nice meeting everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Mayer. Commissioner Stonehouse.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I think the overwhelming thing, my only comment, I guess, of significance certainly, would be it is a pleasure to see the COVID numbers coming down and the positive rates and the test rates falling actually very dramatically if you watch our local newscast every night. So I think we surely are winning the battle, and we just have to continue to fight it. Thank you.
Commissioner Bonzo. Oh, Commissioner Bonzo? Sorry, I think you were adjusting your headphones there.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I just have a couple comments I wanted to make tonight. So first, I just wanted to note that last month we had our first meeting of the Protect Michigan Commission, which I was appointed to about a month ago now. And we had some really good conversations. I think that, I'm glad to see that they're taking an approach. Of course, it's just an advisory committee, but that the state of Michigan seems to be taking an equity-based approach toward vaccine distribution, which I think actually treats Northern Michigan and the UP very fairly. That there was a map, and I'll share some more information perhaps on my Facebook page in the coming days here, but there was a map that was shared with us of all the municipalities in the state and where their priority would lie in terms of equity for distribution on a wide range of different metrics, from income and poverty level to race and things of that nature, and levels of vulnerability, people with different health conditions and other risk factors for complications from COVID-19. And the UP in Northern Michigan actually, fared very well, I think, compared to the rest of the state, according to those equity metrics, which was nice to see. And we'll be having another meeting on Friday. And I've been participating in the rural work group and the youth work group to try and make sure that we're getting the message out about vaccination, and that the voices of rural folks and young people in the state of Michigan are being heard in those conversations about vaccines. Also, just want to reiterate some points that were made. I think we had a public comment asking about the situation with ICE down at the Lower Harbor. Of course, I'm sure that, city, various city personnel will do everything they can to keep people safe. But as was stated in a press release earlier today by the city, I think the city police department had a similar statement on Facebook earlier. Really, it's up to individual people to make sure that they're making smart choices, and to recognize that ICE is never 100% safe, and certainly not during a couple of days of warmer weather that we've had recently. So just want to make sure to caution people about going out on the ice at this point down at Lower Harbor. You might be taking a pretty significant risk by doing so, and putting other people at risk by extension who might have to rescue you if something goes wrong. And then the only other update I have is with regards to the ad hoc housing committee. I really just want to thank everyone who's provided feedback, both positive feedback and support, as well as constructive criticism that people have offered of the initial report that we put out back on January 15th. Say that to my fellow commissioners, as well as to the many members of the public that we've heard from, various stakeholders that we've heard from in the community. And I'm really looking forward, we're sort of crystallizing a plan for our meetings these next few months, and should be able to approve that plan by June 8th, the final report rather, by June 8th, and get that to the commission in early to mid-June. So, and I'm really looking forward to the final report. I think filling in some of the gaps that were identified in the initial report, and being a little bit more specific, being even more, grounded in the data that we do have about the community. And would, just want to reiterate that we welcome public feedback. People can provide public comment at our meetings. We meet on the second Tuesday of each month from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And recognizing that that's not a convenient time for everybody, you can email written comments ahead of time if you want, just like you can for city commission meetings. I think we're very open to that. So in any case, just wanted to provide a brief update there, and we'll keep the commission apprised of Housing Committee and what we're working on moving forward.
Commissioner Davis?
Thank you, Mayor Smith. I have nothing for this evening.
Commissioner Hanley?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a whole lot either. I just want to reiterate what was said during the announcements about glass recycling being the first week of the month next week. Tell your neighbors, if you have a good relationship with your neighbor and you see that they're putting out something else, let them know, hey, this is the first month. It's the only way we're going to do this is everyone in the city starts working together, and we want to keep glass. We worked really hard to get it back, and I don't want to lose it again. So that's the only thing I want to say. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. I want to mention that looking forward, Art on the Rocks has been scheduled for July 24th and 25th. Looking forward very much to that. I'm sure if we, as been said, if we keep wearing our masks, keep being safe, we can experience that community event again. It won't be the same. I'm sure we're still going to have to social distance at that time, but it will be great to have that event back at back in town again. And
oh, you hit mute, Mayor Pro Tem.
yeah, thank you. As some of you know, I work on energy issues, and we've had a significant energy problem in our country in the last week. Luckily, here in Michigan, we do have a regulation that allows for things to be planned for and paid for. And tomorrow is the meeting of the Marquette Board of Light and Power at 4:30. If folks are interested in learning more about what's going on, I've had someone reach out to me and ask what's going on here in Michigan. And locally, we have direct control of our energy system right here in Marquette through the Marquette Board of Light and Power. And you can go to mblp.org and get the Zoom information to take part in their meeting tomorrow at 4:30. So I'm very glad that there's very good folks over there who are working to take care of us. And that's all I have tonight.
I have three things tonight. So one, answer to the question that Margaret Brum had asked about ICE, and I can't remember the specifics of the question, but my guess is that that was submitted before the fire department put out their public service announcement about the ICE safety. So that is available now. It went out to the media today. Long story short, ICE is never safe, as I know Commissioner Bonzel mentioned, but it's even less safe now. A couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, when it was really cold, I think it was, relatively okay for some folks to be out there. But now the ice is definitely shifting. I've received some pictures from folks up at the top of Marquette Mountain skiing, and you can see a very large crack in the ice. At Wetmore Landing yesterday, there were 2 people out on the ice, and the ice chunks shifted away from shore. Luckily, they were able to get back to shore safely, but that may not have been the case. So it is definitely changing quickly here. Just stay on the shore. There's a lot to do even on the shore. At this point, it's not worth it going out there. So wanted to say that. 2 other things. We had our Founders Landing work session last week on Thursday. The commission got some great updates from city staff. They've been working hard with GEI consultants and a potential contractor to help us get the price down when some material costs have gone up that kind of prohibited our initial design, but it wasn't our initial design. It was our secondary design. This thing has been kind of rolling through a couple years now, but we're working through it. We're hoping to be able to review a plan and consider getting that started for this summer. We'll see how it goes, but that work session is available. If anyone is interested, you can watch the whole thing on our City of Marquette YouTube page. And I also, just prior to this meeting, did a quick interview with Channel 3. I'm not sure when they're going to air that, but that will be going out to the public as well. And then finally, I just wanted to comment that our city manager search is well underway. Our consultant, Frank Walsh, has been interviewing community stakeholders, just a few folks in the community to help get a picture of what Marquette is and to attract the right kind of city manager that we hope to have to fill the very big shoes of Mike Angeli. And it seems to be going well. We should be moving forward with next steps in that process soon, and I look forward to seeing that as it progresses. That is all I had. City Manager, did you have any comments this evening? He's saying no. I can't believe it, but we are adjourned at 6:28 p.m. Thanks, everyone.